Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be unlike any other video I've uploaded before, just because I don't think I've ever done a video where it's been completely raw and unedited and unfiltered in a way, and I don't think I've really done a video where I sort of just sat down for a prolonged period of time and talked about how I've been feeling in the most honest sense. So I don't really tell you guys whenever I go through things like this. I think the closest that I've come to sort of expressing how I felt was the one time I uploaded that video titled something along the lines of like the worst year, or how like 2019 was a bad year for me. Sorry, 2018 was a bad year for me. But other than that, I don't really come close to expressing my honest feelings online, just because I don't really feel like it's 100% necessary. But lately I've been going through a lot of things and just becoming more self-aware of my future and just where I am in the present and whether or not I'm really content with myself. So I will start off with the very beginning of the story. So a couple weeks ago, there was this period in time where I felt like I just wasn't accomplishing a lot of things in terms of both my academic life, my personal life, and just my overall being. I just felt really underwhelmed with my performance and just every aspect of my life. It started when I received a bad mark on my midterm, a midterm that I sort of studied decently hard at. Like, I wouldn't say that I gave it like 100% of my effort, but I did study like a lot, I guess, in comparison to like how I've been these past couple of weeks. So I was really hoping that I would get like a good mark, and what ended up happening was that I didn't. I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't anything that like I really wanted, just because I felt like it didn't really measure up to the amount of time that I spent studying. And so I felt like it was like really unworthy of what I actually wanted to receive. And that sort of just triggered a multitude of things, because I think I've just sort of been feeling all these things underneath, and this one thing just sort of triggered everything to the surface. But lately I've just been feeling really unaccomplished in many aspects of my life. Academic wise, I haven't been feeling all that well, and personal accomplishments, I feel like everything has been plateauing and going stagnant, and that hasn't really been an aspect of my life that I've been the proudest of. And when I say this, I honestly mean like my YouTube channel, personal hobbies and passions, and just the fact that lately I haven't been feeling 100% passionate about like anything that I've been doing. And that was something that really sort of got me thinking a couple weeks ago about whether or not this program that I'm in was 100% worth it, just because of all the assignments and projects that I've been doing lately. I haven't put my like all into it, and I was just sort of like to myself, if I'm not like passionate about what I'm doing in terms of like all this school stuff, then am I necessarily in the right program in a way? And the thing is, like, I would do all these assignments and I wouldn't like necessarily care for them. Like, my only objective was just finishing, and that isn't how I want to view any of the things that I'm doing, because I should at least feel some sort of way towards like what I'm working towards. And then I was just sort of thinking, like, do I transfer out of this program? And it got me into this mindset of like wanting to essentially just not be in this program anymore. And the thing is, I've discussed this multiple times with like my friends, but it's never gotten to that level where I was 100% serious about actually wanting to transfer to something else, just because I was always sort of stuck in this mentality where it was like, hey, I'm already here, there's no point in me going anywhere else because I've already sort of settled here. And I think another part of me was just like, I'm scared of like change, and like I'm already so comfortable here. I have my friends here, I have a place here, like I know the area so well, and there's no real reason for me to transfer out except for the fact that like I just feel like I'm not 100% passionate about like what I'm doing, but that could eventually come later on into the program, just because everything is just so broad. And for those of you that don't know what program I'm in, because I don't think I've really explicitly said, or like I have, but I don't make like a big point of like telling you guys in every single video, hey, I'm in GBDA, blah blah blah. But yes, I study at the University of Waterloo in Canada. I'm currently in GBDA, which stands for Global Business and Digital Arts. And even coming in to this program, I don't think I did like a bunch of research, because I know a lot of people before they like apply for all these different programs in high school, they do a lot of research. And to be honest, like I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, like I just sort of applied to like a bunch of programs, and I like probably did, I like half-assed a lot of my research. I was just sort of like, okay, this is an arts program, I'm gonna apply, blah blah blah. And that's my fault 100%. Like I should have done more research, I should have been more passionate about like what I was applying to and things like that. But like this program intrigued me and I thought it was interesting. First year it was okay, and then second year I thought things would be better and that like my interest for this program would grow. But to be honest, it's been sort of plateauing, and I've even had like this dip. And I guess a couple weeks ago I had that dip where I was like, I really genuinely feel like 50% not good at what I'm doing, and then the other 50% I'm just not interested, which is why I'm doing so poorly in everything. And that had me really concerned, because it was just like, hey, it was like a snowball of thoughts. Like one moment, like the moment I started thinking about one thing, it led to another negative thought, and then it just had me thinking about my life in general, and just how like like a couple weeks ago I really genuinely felt like I wasn't good at anything. Like, and I was just like, hey, like I'm surrounded by all these people around me that are so passionate about what they're doing and they're excelling at what they're doing, and I just felt so lost, because I was like, I don't feel that sort of connection towards anything that I'm doing, and I really just wanted to feel like passionate about something again, and that was something that I was missing out on. That just put me in a really negative place, because it was like I hadn't really found like my niche. And being surrounded by people, especially in sort of like an arts program, you see people doing things outside of the program, such as like clubs and their own passion projects, and you're just sort of like, what am I doing here? I'm just sort of here like doing things, like getting things done, but that's about it. And it spiraled me into like this thing where I was just really negative about myself. And I'm not gonna lie, like I cried about it. I was just sort of like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I've never felt more lost in my life before. Like I've never felt this way. And I think the last time that I genuinely felt like this miserable about my life in general and just like where things were going was probably in high school. And I hadn't felt like that terrible about myself in such a long time, that I was just like, this is not a good thing, I need to talk to someone about it. And so I told my roommates about how I was feeling, and the thing is, we've had this conversation multiple times, like just about our program in general, and just how it just feels like we don't necessarily fit with our program, or we just don't feel passionate about the things that we're learning. And the thing is, this sort of sentiment is very common amongst people in our program. Like it's not just me and like my group of friends, it's because our program in general is very broad. It's essentially a program just sort of like dabbles in the beginning or like the introduction of a lot of different things, so you don't really fully like learn anything, or you don't really master any sort of skill. I was really upset about that for a really long time, and I was sort of just questioning my self-worth and just my abilities and my skills, and whether or not I really belonged here amongst like the mass of people that truly felt like they were way more talented and just way smarter than I was. And that was one of the things that really crushed me. It was just like, I know for a fact that I'm not smart. Like I'm outright saying this. I'm honestly just a hard worker, and the fact that even though I worked hard and I wasn't able to get the results that I wanted, it really bummed me out, because it just had me like set in this mindset where I was like, if I can't even work hard and like get what I like, you know, sort of like aim for, then am I just like dumb? Like there's no other explanation for this. And I was really upset over that, and then I talked to my parents about it, and honestly I wanted to talk to my parents about this whole thing the first time I started feeling that way, but it wasn't until a couple weeks later when they were like free and able to like FaceTime me. And when I FaceTimed them, honestly, like I broke down in the first like 5 minutes, and I thought I wouldn't because I was like, this is something that happened ages ago, and by that point I was sort of trying to like recover from it, and I was getting into a more positive mindset. And so I was like, this, I'm not gonna break down, I'm not gonna cry, blah blah blah. But then I ended up crying in front of them, and they were just trying to comfort me, and they were saying like, this is such a small thing in the grand scheme of things, and as long as you tried your best, then you shouldn't be upset. And that comforted me a little bit. But then I think what really ultimately sort of changed my mindset and made me realize that like my self-worth doesn't necessarily boil down to an academic mark, or that my value isn't like set on just like a certain grade, was the fact that I've mentioned this show before, but Losers on Netflix, it's this new sort of documentary series, I guess, that focuses on like athletes that basically face a hardship in their life or like a loss in some way, and how they bounce back from that and basically achieve something even greater. There was just this one episode in particular that really made me realize things. So basically the episode, I talked about this in my previous vlog, there's this episode about this figure skater called Surya Bonali. She goes around and she talks to girls of color, and there was this one thing that she sort of preached about in her speech, and she was just saying how like a medal isn't like real. If you think about it, like it's superficial and it doesn't necessarily stand for anything in a way. Like you can attach meaning to that medal, but in the end, like a medal is not real. And she was just saying how what matters most at the end of the day is that like you tried your best, you know your own worth. And what I got from that was just that like I shouldn't attach my own sort of like self-worth to this like academic failure in a way, because I'm good at other things, you know. And just because school isn't like my strong suit doesn't overall define who I am, and it doesn't make me like a dumb person in a sense. And that was something that I really struggled to deal with in the past couple of weeks. Normally I'm a very positive and like optimistic person when it comes to stuff like this, because I just have this like mindset where it's like, hey, like if I tried my best, then that's all I can really do, and I shouldn't compare myself to anyone else except for myself. And as long as I'm learning something, then that's like the ultimate like positive gain from all of this. I think a lot of studying channels or just school, they don't really focus or like talk that much about how to deal with like loss and failure, because it's really just about like go go go, like try to be the best that you can be, like, you know, be successful, blah blah blah. Like this is today's culture, and it's really easy to get lost in that sort of mentality where it's like, oh, I have to be the best that I can be, I have to be better than everyone, that's the only way I can succeed. But success can be measured in so many different ways. It doesn't have to just be like academic success for you to be a successful person. Like you can be successful in other aspects of your life, and you shouldn't just define yourself to like this one poor grade that you got, and you shouldn't let that define anything. And I think one important quote that has always stuck by me was just that you can't control many different aspects of your life. Like there's just things that are out of your reach, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But there is one absolute thing that you can control, and that is your mindset and just your outlook on life, and just how you want to perceive certain situations. Like for example, if something terrible happened to you, you can choose to mope about it for days on end, or you can take it as like a learning experience and try to gain like a bunch of different things from it, and use and apply that to make your life better in a sense. Don't compare yourself to other people. It's not good in the long sense, and it really doesn't benefit you or anyone in your life. So just don't let your head get wrapped around stuff like that. And yeah, I really just wanted to let you guys know, and I've been meaning to sort of have like a chat like this on my channel for a really long time, just how to deal with failure and just how to have like a more positive mindset. And yeah, I think I was just really lucky in terms of having really supportive parents, because I know it's not always the same situation for everyone. I think I got really lucky there in terms of just having parents that really understand and honestly just want the best for me. I just want to let you know that as long as you try your best, that is honestly what matters. And school is, yes, it is everything in a way, because it does determine a lot of aspects of your life, but at the same time, you shouldn't just let that be the only controlling thing, and you shouldn't let that like 100% control your emotions, because it can get like really toxic in a way. And life is just, it's more than your education, your academics sometimes, and I want to let you guys know that. And yeah, that's basically my whole rant. I'm sorry that this was really long in a way, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.